Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7 Reunion Part 1. I saw it last night and I was pleasantly surprised. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very entertaining, very funny. The shade was there, the reads were there. Whether I was laughing with Candace or at Mia, it was a good time, and I'm looking forward to parts 2 and 3. So let's get into it. I'm actually excited to review it. So as soon as this started, Bravo gagged us real quick. Like, they went back and re-edited the beginning of the reunion to include Robin's lies about Juan. They played her and Giselle's podcast, the part where she said that she knew about this woman before the season started. And, you know, if you want to know more, you got to sign up to their Patreon. So then they fast forward to when she was on Watch What Happens Live and Andy grilling her. So then that's when we cut to present day, the reunion. It's 5:50 in the morning and it's just getting earlier and earlier. Like, those are some long ass days, like 12, 13 hours. I would say 4 hours is dedicated to hair and makeup for women. So maybe that's it, but that is ridiculous. But I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks. That reunion bonus must be nice. So then we see the usual behind the scenes action, the ladies getting ready, Andy stopping by a few of their rooms. What stood out to me the most was when Andy was letting Karen know that Charisse was showing up to the reunion. And Karen says, well, she deserves to be here. I mean, she filmed enough. God knows you put her everywhere you could. Already. I cannot wait for that showdown. Also, production wasn't necessary to show Wendy getting her wig installed. Y'all couldn't wait till, you know, everything was in place. And also, Andy stops by the Green-Eyed Bandits dressing room because they're sharing one, of course. He's congratulating Robin on being married, then asks her, is Juan showing up today? Y'all say it with me. No, of course not. And Robin does say no, and then Andy shady ass, he's like, oh, I thought so. Okay, so it looks like a lot of moments backstage stood out to me because he's in Candace's dressing room and she started selling merchandise, y'all. She put it up on her Twitter. I saw somebody retweet it because I don't follow her. But the shirt she has is not today Satan, not today neck, not today ankles. Now, I don't want it on the shirt, but I will take it on the mug, Candace, a shot glass, or a little tote bag. So look, if you put it on your site, I'll buy it. So they all arrive to the set, and like I said in my review with Maddie on the reunion looks, collectively, I like how they look together. You know, regardless if I think some looks are tacky or not. But, you know, collectively, as an ensemble cast, they all look nice in their blue. I mean, it's my favorite color too. As they're sitting down, we see the ladies are not very happy with the seating arrangement. As soon as Giselle hears Wendy's on the same side, she's like, what? And then Robin, she's on the other side of the couch. She calls it random. I do find it fascinating, though, that even the seating arrangement for the reunions these days is a topic of discussion, to the point where Bravo has to release it before the reunion airs. So as Andy's greeting the ladies, he does bring up to Ashley like her little fling with Luke. And we find out a fun fact that it was Luke and Ashley who set up Giselle, who she's dating this man from Summer House 2. Now, I don't know who he is. He is a little easy on the eyes. Not sure if he played for my team or hers, but good for Giselle. Maybe she'll use this as a plot line next season. He does say hello to Robin, congratulates her on the wedding. We see Karen yawning as he says this, and you know the cameraman was going to pan to Karen for a reaction. Messy Andy then turns to Karen and says, well, Karen, you thought it never happened. And she says, well, I'm glad it did. And Robin says, doubt it. They starting already, but I'm sure we'll get to that in part 2 or 3. See, I can already tell this is going to be a good reunion because we're just at the greetings and the shade has started. So Andy then tells Candace, oh, well, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And Candace said, well, you're going to have to ask Ashley for that because she has the keys. He then compares her dress to Cookie Monster, which I can see the resemblance with the color, but it stops there. I already said my thoughts on her dress, so if you want to see that, it's in the reunion looks review I did with Maddie. So we then get to the first topic of discussion, and it's the seating arrangement. He asked the ladies, what do they think about it? And they collectively think that it's weird, and Candace, I agree with her. Like, sir, you're the one that arranged it. And he says, well, no, I didn't, but I had a voice. Now see, if Andy did not want Candace next to him, I'm sure he can make that happen. I would still give the other first seat to Karen just for her OG status, but I'm thinking in the producer's mind, like Giselle and Karen, whether y'all like it or not, they are the faces of the franchise, so that's why they sit closest to Andy. Andy tries to reassure the ladies that the reason for the seating arrangement mostly relies on who's all getting along. And while I get that, there's still seniority and popularity involved with it. First in the hot seat is Ashley in her storyline of getting a divorce from Michael, which she still hasn't done yet. I wonder if she filed because it is February. If anybody has the information, let me know in the comments. And also in the reel, they're discussing the new house she got for her and the kids. So Ashley lets us know that she's finally out of that penthouse we've seen her in since season 1. Her house is 7 minutes from there. And Michael has a key to her place, which definitely caused some perplexing looks amongst the cast. Because I get they want a convenient way of co-parenting, but a lot of boundaries have to be established if you're trying to give your ex-husband a key to your place. I don't know, Ashley. At this point, I'm gonna need to see some documentation on that divorce. It's like, is Robin really married? And is Ashley really getting a divorce? I feel like she's giving Michael just too much control with this. Like, he's already paying the mortgage because she can't afford it. His name is on the house, not sure if hers is. And he can get into the house whether she's there or not, or whether she wants him there or not. She's trying to have a poker face right now, trying to make it seem like she have it all together, but okay, girl. They bring up her relationship with Luke again, and I'm not sure if they're together or not, but she brings up a time where Michael was not happy that he was at the house and he was dropping off the kids and Luke was still there. She had to call him and say, you need to leave immediately. They only been talking for a month at that point. I would imagine if you're dating with kids, you're gonna be very cognizant of who you have around them, not just anybody. So I get that. So then Andy asked her, like, you know, is there a future with her and Luke? And she said, well, I don't know. I was starting to fall in love with them. All the ladies were like, aw. Andy goes, aw. Mia's like, oh no. And I'm kind of with Mia. Like, I feel like she needs somebody, like, a little bit more mature or something. I don't know. At least the age difference is better, I guess. But is the tax bracket right? I don't know. I don't know this Luke person because I don't watch Summer House. Andy then asked Ashley, do you think Michael is jealous in any way? I mean, because you out dipping and doing it, you TikToking, you with Luke. She's like, well, I don't know. Mia's like, Michael ain't worried about that. And I would probably have to agree with Mia again. Michael get to keep all his money now, and he can have all the pussy that he wants, and he can grab and smack and tickle to his heart's desire. So now Andy asks Ashley about the prenup, and Ashley, did Sheila teach you anything? Turns out she gets nothing. Like, none of the money that he came into the marriage with, she does not get half. She doesn't even get alimony. And all the ladies are like gasping. Ashley, you are a fool. Like, I mean, at least she get child support, but damn. And the thing is, she signed the prenup. Like, she did this to herself. Girl, get a lawyer, something. Truth be told, she probably can't even retain a divorce lawyer, seeing that she can't even afford her mortgage. We see that some of the ladies trying to give Ashley some advice, but as Giselle mentioned, she doesn't even know how much Michael is worth. So she don't even know what money she's going after. How long has she been with him? And you don't even know like how much money he got, how much he worth? Mia again with the side comments. She's saying she better have another baby. I know that's right. But you know what? I was gonna say a joke, but no, I'm not gonna do it. Damn, Ashley has been in the hot seat for over 10 minutes and it's still going. The next question for her is, are you really leaving Michael because he wanted threesomes and not the fact that the prenup is up? Did you just want to secure the bag? We cut to Mia again and she says she didn't secure the bag. Again, Mia's side comments had me hollering last night, and it sucks because I really don't care for her. The next question for Ashley brings up some words she said a few seasons ago that looks like it came back to haunt her. It was her telling Candace that she was the least accomplished person on the cast. And man, those tables, they be turning. I'm trying to think, what does Ashley have to her name right now? besides Housewives. Ashley says she apologized to Candace for that, and she says she's accomplished and she's not gonna let anybody minimize that. But that look Candace got, it looked like she ready to say something. And I will say, we all read Candace about living in her mama house, but the thing is with Candace, she was annoying and she was a spoiled brat. Like, we could do a whole tape montage of how she used to treat Chris, her own husband, okay? So that was the reason. She was acting like a spoiled brat. Ashley says she stands by the fact that when you get a certain age as an adult, you have to be responsible for yourself. And Candace says, well, you're not. Ashley, I'm sorry, girl, but Candace got you. She came prepared to this reunion. I was maligned incessantly for my generational wealth. And if you're able to attain these decorations that he put in these papers to distract you with, hopefully you will have that for your children. Oh, that was a gunshot. That was good, Candace. And then, Ashley kind of came back and said, well, I guarantee you that when my children are 30, they will have a home in their own name. Candace got her with that read, but I will commend Ashley at not being completely rattled and speechless like Giselle normally is. Moving on though, she does confirm she's filing for divorce in February, she's keeping the last name Darby, and she reassures the cast that even though Michael is a perverted crypt keeper, he's a good father. Afterwards, Ashley is finally out of the hot seat, so they all take a break, but the cameras are still rolling, and the ladies need to realize that when they're mic'd up, they're gonna listen to everything they're saying. So then we see a conversation between Giselle and Ashley, and she's talking about her relationship with Luke, and I'm guessing they're still messing around, and how they got into a fight about something, and how she feels that he's stringing her along. She continues and says she thinks they're done, but she ain't really worried about it because she got some other guys on the side to tend to. I hear that. So now we're on to Mia, and it's her turn to be in the hot seat now, and her reel has to do with basically her lies throughout the season. We haven't even gotten to the fight between her and Wendy. We're just talking about her storyline with her health scare journey. Oh, and also the trouble she's having with her business that her and her husband lost, even though she's the CEO, allegedly. So after the reel, the first thing they tackle is this health journey. And she's explaining it like I had to get this done, but I don't have this, I don't have this. It looks like all she had was a skin rash because I wanted some confirmation myself on that. I was like, wait a minute, you at the dermatologist? But then she's saying that she still needs to have more tests. And I didn't even think about this, but when Andy said, well, all this may be due to all the work you had done and your body rejecting some things, and I've actually heard of that, that actually makes sense. I will say, as Mia's explaining this, you can see the wheels turning in her head. Like, is she creating lies as she goes? Speaking of Mia's health, I actually forgot this scene happened. Wendy gets called out for her hot mic moment, calling Mia a liar. I think it was bad because she and Robin was going back and forth about Mia lying and how they approached her. But at the same time, Wendy thought she was lying too. She was just saying it behind her back. So now they're going back and forth. Mia calls Wendy a snake. Wendy then says, well, I did believe you were lying. And then Mia says, well, I'm sorry I didn't get my opportunist husband to will me in the hospital for people to believe me. Damn, okay. Wendy then claps back and says, oh, I'm sorry that my husband actually cared about me to do that. Maybe your next husband will do the same for you. Even Andy was like, oh. After that, we then move on to Mia's business that got taken away from her and her husband. Child, already, Mia's trying to explain the situation and she is lying. Like, it's just a web of lies. And she sounds crazy. She can't even get the amount of board members right. It went from 3 to 8. See, when you tell so many lies, you got to keep up with all those lies that you told amongst the new lies that you telling. Also, while all this is happening, the camera is staying on Wendy and her facial expressions right now. She is getting her life looking at Mia trying to get all her stories straight. You're on the couch with several women who have their own business and know how this works. You can't just lie like this without being called out. Like, at this point, they're laughing at her. And I'm glad that she's finally seeing that they see you as a joke, Mia. I'm sorry. We're all laughing at you. Wait, She says in an operating agreement, you have management and you have members. So the managing members, nope. I'm not even going to try. Mia's finally getting frustrated that all the ladies are laughing at her and she didn't even want to continue the question. She tells Andy, next question. But Andy's just trying to get it out of her. So she finishes explaining this haphazard story. Giselle pipes up and basically implies that Mia and her husband are embezzling. That's why she got kicked out the company. Embezzle? Y'all, when Giselle did that, I mean, look, I don't care for her, but I was hollering. Like, really? Wow, Giselle opening up those can of worms, that might prompt somebody to launch an investigation on them. And this could be serious. And then we'll have a whole nother Jen Shah thing. So maybe we should keep Mia for season 8, because she might be busted. And even the way Giselle explained it was more clearer than how Mia could describe what happened to her business. Ooh, Giselle, you ain't shit for that. It was funny though. So now we found out that Mia isn't even living in Potomac anymore. The house was rented, so they had to move out because of their financial strife. But then Andy asked, so where are you living now? She then talks about some properties that she has, what was it, in North Carolina or something? She says she has 2 properties there and, you know, she's bi-coastal, which does not mean that because they're on the same coast. The lies. Anyway, though, Mia says that she's living in a penthouse in North Bethesda. DC, Maryland residents, please let me know where that is in regards to Potomac in the comments, please. Andy's last question for her is, do you regret anything you did on the show? And she says no, just very easily. As Wendy's just sitting across from her, she can't think of anything that she regret. Wow. So next up is Candace's reel and her storyline throughout the season, which was her IVF journey, as well as Giselle accusing her husband of inappropriate behavior or just making her feel uncomfortable. We see that, and then they added some unseen footage from the season, which is Giselle in her confessional saying that after season 7 wrapped, Chris sent her a DM or a text message. In the message, he says he's sorry he didn't get to talk to her this season, but he does apologize if I truly made you feel uncomfortable. But I'll be honest, I have been very angry about how this has played out and some of the words that have been used, and that is why I have been hesitant. So in Giselle's mind, she sees this as vindication for what she's been saying all season, for which she is wrong. We all know she's wrong. Giselle says she sees this as an apology and she can move on from this. Candace is then like, hold on, he sent that text message to you after the season wrap and before it premiered. So we got to see all the vile things you said in your confessional, all the extra stuff she added on the rumors about Chris. Giselle, it was very mean-spirited. You could have really tarnished Chris's reputation. You could have affected his livelihood, their marriage. I don't know why she can't see that she did that. Like a simple apology just ain't enough. So I don't blame Candace for not forgiving your ass. I'm still perplexed why she agreed to go on Ultimate Girls Trip with you. Giselle's trying to play the game, oh, what did I say? What did I say? And Candace, she was ready for this reunion, like I said, and she's like, oh, well, the sneaky link comment, the comment that you said, oh, he's just trying to see if I was with it. And production is rolling that beautiful bean footage. Pepperidge Farm remembers. So now that Giselle's being called out on it, now she wants to apologize? Candace is basically like, nah, bitch, fuck that. You can keep your apology and shove it up your ass. Now, she didn't say it exactly like that, but she definitely meant it like that. So then Candace brings up how this happened before the season and you decide to bring it up when the cameras roll. If that's the case, Giselle, then with that logic, y'all could have brought up Robin's issues that happened before cameras started rolling. So that wasn't fair to Candace. Lord, here we are, me defending Candace. I mean, I do love the growth she's had this season. Quick side note, y'all. I hope y'all can enjoy this sunset that's going on in real time as I'm reviewing Potomac. It's a little annoying and I hope it's not too distracting. Anyway, Giselle brings up now how Chris basically lied and said that it was Giselle's idea to have the exchange in her dressing room. And she said that's a lie. But thankfully, Chris is there so they can dispute this, but I don't think we're going to see this until part 3. They're going back and forth, but then Andy changes the topic and asks Candace, like, how's her IVF journey going? And she says that the second go-round, she retrieved 6 eggs, so congrats to her. I'm pretty sure like we're gonna get a pregnancy announcement at some point this year. Watch. The next question though brings us right back to Candace versus Giselle, and they're now disputing whether Giselle accused Chris of sexual assault. Technically, she did. Like, Candace is right. When you say like someone was being grabbed and groped without their permission, that is sexual assault, because I said the same thing about Brandy doing that to Caroline. Giselle, that's your fault. And then she's trying to say, well, we all thought that's what Ashley said. Ashley says she never said that, but we do have you on camera saying that you like to add a little spice on some rumors and tell everybody. I'm surprised no one has sued Giselle yet for defamation. But then here goes Robin, Giselle's guard dog, who hasn't said anything in 20 minutes. Ruff, ruff. Can we all agree that a married man shouldn't be in a room with a single woman? You sound crazy. What was wrong with that? Was it because there's a bed in the room? I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. Is it inappropriate? Straight people. Now, full disclaimer, I do want to make clear I'm not minimizing Giselle's feelings on this. She has a right to feel uncomfortable. But her behavior during the season, doing all the theatrics and adding to the rumors, was wrong. Candace then calls out Giselle for constantly coming after people's marriages and husbands instead of having a storyline of her own. Giselle disagrees and says, we all talk about this. And I'm gonna be fair. Like, yes, Candace is right. With Giselle, she is the ringleader on this. But on the other hand, Candace has been a part of these conversations where they would gather before the season to, see what rumor they're gonna latch on. So when it's your turn, you can't be mad. When you're around snakes, you can't be surprised when you get bit eventually. Just saying. Andy's now asking Giselle, why did she wait until cameras started rolling to bring this to Candace's attention? Giselle swears up and down she wasn't using it for ammo. She says the only reason she brought it up was because when Ashley came to her about these DMs that Chris sent her, she thought it was a pattern and it was something for Candace to know about. All right, Wendy, for the assist. Very true. There is a pattern with Giselle, and it always happens, like you attacking somebody when the cameras are up. Candace tells Andy that Giselle had multiple times to tell her about this before filming started. She gives her album release as an example, and Giselle was like, oh, you'd rather me tell you then while you're just getting off stage? And Candace is like, well, that's not the time and the place, but you tell me on national motherfucking television is the right time? You're not smart. Okay, for the Nene Leakes callback. Candace is hot now, and she's going for the jugular for Giselle. She says instead of talking about her uterus and her personal life, she'd rather malign and fuck with people's family and use this show to tell lies because she ain't got shit going on. I was like, okay, Candace, get her together. Candace ain't done yet. She says your dwindling uterus was waiting for you to talk about it on TV. Then the dramatic music goes up, and that is where the episode ends. We get a preview for the next 2 parts. We also find out that they did extra footage on Watch What Happens Live, so we're gonna get that with Robin. This was a good first part. I enjoyed it. Candace was the MVP. I'll give it to her. Also on Twitter, I posed the question because I was just wondering, is it just me, or when Candace said dwindling uterus, was that in poor taste to anybody else but me? I was just like, I thought it was a little below the belt. Candace is smarter than that. You could go for Giselle for a multitude of things without mentioning her uterus, especially after she got a hysterectomy. I just know that that is a difficult procedure for women, especially the psychological toll it takes on some. I was just wondering, why did Candace feel she had to go there? I get it, she was caught in the moment, but I just thought it was too much. Now, Candace stands, let me give you this disclaimer. I love Candace for the show. I believe that she was the MVP of this reunion, and Giselle deserves to be read. But I personally think that was in poor taste for her to mention that. And yes, before y'all even mentioned Phaedra's read on Kenya about the scrambled eggs, I thought that was offensive too, and that was below the belt, so now what? Now what? The sperm donor read, I thought that was fine. But the scrambled eggs, I thought, well, that was in poor taste too. So what else is going on? I just want to know, did y'all think it was in poor taste? Why or why not? Please don't Chris Brown the situation be like, oh, this person got away with it. It's fine. It provides no value to the conversation. Just because I have a critique of Candace does not mean it's rooted in bias. I just said that I like her for the show. I wanted her to read Giselle. I just thought that was a little bit under the belt. I also feel like Candace is on an IVF journey of her own. And, she can have trouble with her uterus down the line. And I'm sure she wouldn't want anybody to make fun of her IVF journey, not having enough eggs, or her uterus if she has problems later on. So that's my thoughts on it. Anyway, supporters of Candace, please do not be woefully obtuse in the comments. With that said, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.